see you tomorrow.
Yacht Rock. I love that. Good one, Chris.
See you guys.
You might have some people in your inbox here in the next couple hours.
Yacht Rock.
Sounds throwbacky, but
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I love it.
Let's just talk about the weather.
So, very windy,
Yeah.
in addition to the cold.
Yeah, and it's cold and windy outside here again this morning, everybody. We have teens and even lower 20s for the start of our Monday. Unfortunately, temperatures are going to be topping out around 40 degrees later today, but feeling like the 30s all throughout the afternoon. A little bit warmer by the end of the week.
All right, Jason, thanks. Hey, thank you for joining us on WBZ. We keep the news going, streaming on CBS News Boston.
We will see you there or on our website. For now, CBS Morning starts now.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News Mornings.
Right now on CBS News Boston, cold and windy this morning. Wind gusts around 30 miles per hour in the city. Feels like temperatures in the teens and lower 20s.
Oh boy, a large budget gap prompting layoffs in a local school district. We'll tell you about a protest being planned by students this morning.
Plus, shutdown flight restrictions lifted at Logan Airport this morning. The changes you can expect if you're traveling today.
And jury selection in the murder trial of Brian Walshe set to get underway this week. The final pre-trial hearing scheduled for today.
We have a very cold start to kick off the week. You can just see it as you look at this sunrise, a live look toward Boston this morning. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Monday, November 17th. I'm Paula Eben.
And I'm Chris Tanaka. We're going to get straight to Jason Michael with a first check of that next weather forecast, because as people step outside, Jason, the cold's just there to greet them.
Yeah, it is here. It is also National Homemade Bread Day, so I think even some fresh warm bread on a cold morning like today is definitely going to be feeling really, really good outside. We have a lovely start to the Monday morning here. You see a gorgeous sunrise earlier this morning. 6:39 was our sunrise time this morning, everybody. Let's go over to Raiders Nation as we get the kids out of the door this morning. You can see their temperatures starting out in the lower 30s, but it feels like temperatures are in the teens and even the upper 20s as of right now. We've got some cold and blustery conditions coming in off of the eastern side of the Great Lakes as of right now. Those prevailing northwest winds are not only keeping us cold, but also crispy as well. We have about a 32-mile-per-hour gust in and around the Boston area this morning. A little bit lighter once you get over towards Metro West and even Worcester County, dealing with a wind gust around 25 miles per hour. So a lot of the winds are actually going to stick around at least for the first half of our Monday and then begin to lighten up as we get into the afternoon. But this is what we're dealing with here as of right now, friends. Feels like 17 over in Worcester, 21 in Fitchburg, 23 in Bedford, Lawrence, Boston. Feels like also 22 degrees in Plymouth as of right now. I mentioned earlier, this is actually going to be the coldest of the next 7 days. We'll talk about when the warmest is going to be arriving, coming up in the full weather forecast, Chris.
All right, sounds good, Jason. Well, this morning, the FAA has lifted the unprecedented flight restrictions that were put into place during the government shutdown. Just about an hour ago, the agency rescinded that order to limit the amount of flights at 40 major U.S. airports, which included Logan. This is actually a live look inside Terminal A right now. You can see busy. But we didn't see any cancellations. That's great. Only about 9 delays we counted. Of course, the cuts were put into place due to the shortage of air traffic controllers during the shutdown. This all started on November 7th and impacted thousands of flights. Also at Logan this weekend, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Now, she was there to reward TSA officers who had perfect attendance throughout the shutdown. Each of them got a $10,000 bonus. The federal government says more than 270 TSA workers at Logan qualified. The White House says several thousand workers qualified for the bonus nationwide.
Well, today, prosecutors and Brian Walshe's attorneys are set to meet in a Dedham courtroom for the last hearing before his murder trial gets underway this week after a series of delays. WBZ's Aaron Parsegian tells us what we can expect.
After 40 days at Bridgewater State Hospital, Brian Walshe entered Norfolk County Superior Court in cuffs Friday.
The defendant is competent and ready to stand trial.
Walsh's trial back on track following a mental competency evaluation and after he was stabbed in jail back in September. Judge Diane Frenier also denying his attorney's request to change the location.
Accordingly, the defendant's motion for a change of venue or alternate relief is denied without prejudice.
The Cohasset man is accused of killing and dismembering his wife Anna on New Year's Day in 2023. though her body was never found.
There's a lot of evidence that we see that points to Brian Walshe, but without the body, it's harder for the prosecution to close that loop.
WBZ legal analyst Jennifer Roman says prosecutors will have to methodically lay out other evidence to make their case. Things like internet searches investigators say Walshe made on his son's iPad around the time of Anna's disappearance, including 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. Surveillance video of Walshe at a Rockland Home Depot buying large amounts of cleaning supplies, tarps, and drop cloths. And the bloody damaged knife detectives say they found in the basement of the Walshe home.
I think the defense is going to chip away at motive. And then they're going to keep saying, well, where's the body?
On top of that, disgraced former state trooper Michael Proctor, the lead investigator in the Karen Reed case, was also involved in this investigation, something Roman says Walsh's attorneys will key in on.
They're going to try to shift the attention away from Brian Walshe and focus it on every other possibility. And they're going to be like, did the police really do their job?
Right now, opening statements are slated to begin on December 1st, but that's all determined on when they can get a jury selected. The trial itself is expected to last several weeks. In Dedham, Aaron Parsegian, WBZ News.
Stay with WBZ for complete coverage of the Walshe trial. Our Penny Commit will be in court covering the case. Look for her live reports daily on WBZ and CBS News Boston.
Well, nearly 24 teachers and staffers won't show up for work in one local school district this morning because they were let go because of a massive budget deficit.
Yeah, this morning some students say they plan to walk out of class to protest the cuts. WBZ's Samantha Cheney is live in Hanson with the growing outrage in the district. Sam, good morning.
Good morning, Paula. Yeah, well, this outrage and frustration, it's been something that's been brewing here in Hanson for quite some time now, but things finally seem to be reaching a boiling point as students today, they plan to walk out of class in support of the staff that was let go this weekend, those who they say have supported them the most. Now, the announcement of this change, it was told to parents and members of this community last month at a school committee meeting, but on Friday, Hanson superintendent tells us that 5 teachers, 2 long-term substitutes, 11 paraprofessionals, and 5 non-union staff members were notified of the reduction in force. It's a move that superintendent says was made in order for the district to directly address a budget deficit of nearly $1.4 million. The school district says principals are working to make sure the class can continue without disruption. But that promise, it hasn't made parents stop sharing their frustration with this situation.
You cannot have children build a rapport for the first 2 months of school and rip that caring adult out of their life. This is completely irrational. I'm disgusted. I've supported the town. My family that raised us here. This is completely unacceptable.
Now, according to an Instagram post, this walkout, it is supposed to be happening around 9:13 this morning. The students say they will be meeting on the football field for a protest. Live here in Hanson, I'm Samantha Cheney, WBZ News.
All right, Sam, thanks for that. Well, President Trump is reversing his stance on the Epstein files. Last night, he said Republicans should vote to release them.
That vote could happen as soon as tomorrow. Bradley Blackburn's in New York with more on that, as well as the growing tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela.
Paula, Chris, the reality is that President Trump may not have the votes in the House to block this release, but the president has also promised new probes into the Epstein case, and there are questions about whether that could limit what's released, even with a congressional mandate. President Trump is now urging House Republicans to vote to release the Jeffrey Epstein files, writing, quote, "We have nothing to hide."
They're using Jeffrey Epstein as a deflection.
A House vote is expected tomorrow.
There are a lot of other people who are involved who have to be held accountable.
President Trump has directed a Justice Department probe into Epstein's ties to top Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton and major banks, after a House panel released more than 20,000 documents from the estate of the deceased sex offender, whom the president previously said he cut ties with years ago. Both Trump and Clinton have denied knowing of Epstein's crimes.
This might be a big smokescreen, these investigations.
The president had a public falling out with House GOP ally Marjorie Taylor Greene over her push for the release, calling her a traitor.
Those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me.
Meanwhile, the USS Gerald Ford now sits in striking distance of Venezuela as the president weighs possible military operations.
It's all about drugs.
The president said Sunday that he may hold talks with Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. The U.S. military has conducted strikes on at least 22 alleged drug smuggling boats in recent weeks, killing more than 80 people. The Trump administration says it's also planning to designate a Venezuelan cartel as a foreign terrorist organization that it claims is headed by Venezuela's president. Chris, Paula.
All right, Bradley Blackburn in New York. Well, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, the Pats are getting back to work, getting ready for Cincinnati next weekend. Levin has the details. Welcome back, 712, little Doja Cat, kind of easing you into your Monday morning. If only the temperatures were so subtle, Jason.
I feel attacked. I feel attacked on this Monday.
Little cold, little jump right on you a little bit there.
I noticed my heater didn't even turn off last night downstairs, so it's pretty chilly outside here. Yeah. We are waking up with a gorgeous sunrise, though, Mr. Tanaka, on this Monday morning, November 17th. So glad to have you guys with us here. As we see more sunshine kind of move back into the weather forecast again this week, the chilly temperatures are going to kind of stick around, unfortunately, there. So it may be a little bit of illusion as we look at our weather forecast again this week. Now, I will stop here and tell you we should be averaging about 51 degrees for a daytime high this time of year, and you'll notice the next 4 days, including today, is definitely going to be colder than the average there. Low 40s today, back into mid 40s for tomorrow and Wednesday, and even on Thursday as well. We start to climb towards 50 degrees once we get to the end of the week, but we have to change up our winds here to allow for that warmer weather to move back in. We still have a cascade of colder weather coming in from Canada as of right now, and the snow machine is still powered on for several communities across central and also upstate New York, even getting all the way down into Connecticut, portions of western Connecticut. You can see that snow band there. Meanwhile, we have a lot of dry air in central and also eastern Mass. We're just dealing with those blustery cold conditions. Check out the current wind gusts. Oh my gosh, we're about 32 mile per hour gusts in the city of Boston right now, 35 to 36 for the islands there. New Bedford nearly 30 mile per hour gusts, and Worcester again at about 25. So the feels like temperatures for the start of our Monday, unfortunately, friends, are in the teens and mid to lower 20s as well. As we move into the afternoon, not only will we have some clouds kind of dancing across the skies, we'll be able to kind of clear things out for a lovely sunset later on this evening. It's going to be roughly around 4:30. We're still unfortunately going to be dealing with these westerly winds. Going to be pretty crispy at times for us on Tuesday as well. Winds are going to be a little bit lighter in some areas, a little bit more gusty in other areas. But again, enjoy the sunshine at least while we have it again today. We'll have some partly cloudy skies again with those windy conditions right around 40 to 41 degrees there, maybe upwards about 42 to 43, depending on your location. Boston and also Point South may be just a little bit warmer, but some of the highest terrain is actually going to be confined into the upper 30s and lower 40s as well. Not only will we have a mainly dry week on tap for us today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. By Friday, though, some warmer weather begin to move back in. And as of right now, models are pretty much in disagreement on exactly what's going to happen. The Euro model is a bit drier than the normal. The GFS is picking up on a little bit of energy. But we actually could be right in between two systems, one going from the south there between Wednesday and Thursday, and one crawling up to the north there between Thursday and also on Friday. If we allow these systems to kind of be on the polar opposite sides of the spectrum, we could actually be right in the middle and end up with a drier Friday and a drier Saturday as well. Thank goodness, though, we can enjoy a nice week. Temperatures will be, again, cooler than the average. Lower 40s today, mid 40s tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday. Those spot rain chances popping up on the forecast between Friday and Saturday. Of course, we're going to update you each and every day to make sure that we provide you the best accurate forecast. Around 40 degrees, again, expected on Saturday, and a little bit cooler, still in the 40s for us on Sunday, Chris.
All right, Jason, thanks. Hey, Massport toasting another strong cruise season in Boston. It says 22 cruise lines and more than 450,000 passengers came through Boston's Flynn Cruise Port in the 2025 season. This morning, they'll celebrate all that success and launch the next phase of cruise port renovations. Well, look at this. Firefighters had to battle flames and wind, which helped actually prevent a fire from spreading to the Avalon Apartments in Northborough. They believe the fire started in a garage that housed maintenance equipment and building materials at the complex. It actually spread to a second garage. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Well, a shoplifter has targeted another upscale store on Newbury Street. Boston police responded to the Ralph Lauren store yesterday afternoon. They say a suspect got away with about $8,000 worth of merchandise. The thief has not yet been caught. This, of course, follows a number of shoplifting incidents in local Lululemon locations. The store on Newbury Street was targeted 3 times, September 28th, October 13th, and again on November 2nd. A thief also took items from the Lululemon in Chestnut Hill last week. All right, Sunday Night Football for those who fell asleep early. Lions and Eagles from Philly. The only touchdown of the game, boring. There's Jalen Hurts scoring. Eagles win 16-9. How about the Lions? They failed to convert on 5 separate fourth down attempts and were 3 of 13 on third downs. Wow. Super Bowl champs are now 8-2 on the season. Of course, the Patriots are 9-2, and they get back to work this week after a long weekend following 2 wins in 5 days last week. They're going to hit the road this weekend to face the Bengals in Cincinnati. Levin is live in studio with a preview. Lev?
A Chris, well-deserved weekend off for the Patriots. The team will return to the facility today, and then it's back to the grind, and we are on to Cincinnati. Some shuffling, though, will have to be done on New England's defensive line because the team had to place one of their best players on IR. Defensive tackle Milton Williams suffered a high ankle sprain in the Jets game on Thursday night. It happened on the first drive of the contest. Williams left the game to get checked out, returned to play, but was held out in the second half. The Patriots placed him on injury reserve on Saturday, so that means he'll miss at least the next 4 games, which are Cincinnati, then a Monday night matchup against the Giants in Foxborough. Then after that game, they'll miss when the Bills come to Gillette, they'll get a bye before that. And then the 4th game will be that Baltimore game on December 21st. That's in Baltimore. Okay, here's your up-to-the-minute AFC standings. The Broncos control the top seed, but they have a better conference record. That's why they're ahead of the Patriots. The Colts had a bye this weekend, so they stayed 8-2. Everybody's eyes are focused on Kansas City, the Chiefs. So right now, they have a lot of work to do to grab a playoff spot. They are 5-5, 2-4 in the conference.
Yeah.
So let's just hope the Chiefs keep losing,
right,
or don't make it in the playoffs.
Well, look, way back in the day, Rick Pitino once said, "Beware the wounded tiger." That's the Chiefs right now.
I get it.
Right?
And but their schedule again next week they play a tough team next week.
Colts,
they play the Colts next week. I think they play the Colts in Kansas City, and the Patriots. Their schedule is what it is. They have a game against Baltimore. They have a game against Buffalo. Those are 2 games that we have our eyes on. The other games they should win.
Right. Bengals, Giants, and then at the back end, Jets, Dolphins.
Yes.
So
in between there, you got those 2 games, and you're coming off a bye. You play the
tough 2 ones.
Tough 2 ones. So you get a little bit of a break. So, by the way, it's not
look at us schedule.
Exactly.
Schedule
looking at the schedule
here.
at all or anything like that. By the way, not here.
All right, Lev. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
You'll see.
It starts this Sunday in Cincinnati. Of course, we got you covered. WBZ, your place to be to catch all the action. Game day starts at 11:30. Kickoff at 1 o'clock. After the game, it's Patriots' 5th quarter, all on WBZ. Well, November is National Youth Homelessness Awareness Month. One organization dedicated to helping at-risk youth in Boston is Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Now, this weekend they held their annual Bridge Gala, and Paul Eben had the honor to MC the event. Helps raise money to support homeless youth with housing, education, getting a job. The goal is to help individuals break the cycle of homelessness so they don't need to return to shelters as adults. Paul has done this for years, does a fantastic job. The gala raised more than $540,000. Well, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, the consequences schools are feeling from the recent immigration crackdowns. Immigration crackdowns could be impacting school enrollment, and that may cost districts large amounts of funding. The Globe looked at enrollment data from some of the state's largest districts. It found sharp drops in places like Boston, Framingham, and Everett. School officials tell the paper they're seeing fewer international students enrolling, and this could also impacting funding for the next year. The amount of money schools receive from the state is tied to how many students they have and whether or not those students have additional needs like being an English language learner. Well, today the government's anti-hunger task force will hold its first listening session in Dighton. Now, the goal is to determine long-term solutions to hunger in Massachusetts. This follows delayed SNAP benefit payouts during the government shutdown. Tonight's session is at the Bristol County Agricultural High School at 5:30. Additional sessions are scheduled in other communities in the coming weeks. Well, WBZ is partnering with Wegmans this holiday season to support food pantries across the state. Together, we're helping Massachusetts families facing hunger. You can find more information on how to help on our website, WBZ.com. The JFK Presidential Library is offering free admission through the end of the month. Library reopened to the public Saturday after being closed during the shutdown. The cafe will reopen today and the research room will open tomorrow. by appointment only. Advance tickets are not required to take advantage of the free admission. Well, coming up next, getting ready for a busy week of Thanksgiving travel will tell you the best and worst times to hit the roads.
You're watching WBZ News.
Nearly 82 million people are expected to travel for Thanksgiving week. AAA estimates 90% of people who travel will take a road trip for the holiday. They say the busiest days for travel will be next Tuesday through the Monday after Thanksgiving. The worst congestion on most days is expected to start between 11 a.m. and 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then last till about 7 to 9 at night. They say your best bet is to travel early in the morning or later at night. Air travel also expected to increase, with 6 million people expected to board domestic flights. Hey, we're getting our first look at the new Bravo reality show, The Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Network posted this trailer online yesterday with the caption, "In a state this small, there are no secrets." The show will follow several women, including former Bachelor contestant Ashley Iaconetti. It is set to premiere sometime next year. Well, still to come in our next half hour, Pope Leo getting a visit from some prominent Hollywood A-listers. His message about the importance of protecting the art of film.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston, WBZ News Mornings continues with your top stories.
ICE agents are on the ground in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the Trump administration's latest crackdown on illegal immigration. Also, a warning from Boston police as we enter the holidays. Tips for avoiding some common holiday shopping scams. And remembering road traffic victims, the renewed push to protect pedestrians and cyclists. Welcome back. I'm Chris Tanaka. Yeah, Charlotte is now the latest city to be targeted for immigration enforcement by the Trump administration. An operation called Charlotte's Web launched over the weekend. Agents arrested nearly 100 people on Saturday. Bradley Blackburn is tracking the latest information.
Cell phone videos captured arrests across Charlotte over the weekend, with agents pulling people from shopping centers and parking lots. Customs and Border Protection smashed the truck window of a man named Willie Aceituno, who was detained and released after he showed he is an American citizen. I told them I'm an American citizen. I'm an American citizen, he said.
They're in our yard.
Nearby, a resident shot video of agents moving in on a landscaping crew as they were putting up Christmas lights, but no arrests were made. The ICE surge in Charlotte is being led by Commander Gregory Bovino, who was also behind efforts in LA and Chicago. Bovino claimed in social media posts many of those arrested had criminal histories. The Department of Homeland Security says more than 500,000 people have been arrested and deported during enforcement operations this year. On Sunday, protesters filled the streets of uptown Charlotte to push back on the tough tactics.
It's terrifying to pretty much know that at any moment a federal agent can just come out and abuse you just because of the way you look.
I seriously believe that immigration is a civil issue. It's not criminal. So this doesn't make any sense to me.
DHS says it focused on North Carolina because of sanctuary policies that restrict cooperation between local law enforcement and federal immigration agents. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Look outside right now. You can see sunshine, scattered clouds out there. You can't see the cold, but you can feel it, Jason.
Yeah, it looks like it is really crispy outside, and that's definitely the case here again this morning, everybody. Let's go over to Radio Nation and also talk about the Wellesley kids heading off to school again this morning. We're in the lower 30s for surface temperatures again this morning. Metro West getting down to near freezing. Boston around 36 to 37 degrees. But look at where our winds are coming in, okay? We got winds coming out of the northwest just firing off the snow machine across areas of upstate New York, northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire. Chilly, blustery conditions are going downwind right into southern New England again this morning. So our wind gusts are right around 30 miles per hour in the city. Lighter winds area south, but still gusting around 25 to 30 as well. And as we move into the afternoon, those gusty winds are likely to stick around the region as well, those westerly winds. By the end of the week, south winds will take over, and that's why our temperatures are going to be climbing a little bit as we near the end of the week. This is how we're beginning our Monday, unfortunately, friends, in the lower 20s. Northern Mass, Fitchburg over to Bedford, 21 to 23 degrees. It feels like 21 to 22 between Keene and Orange. 17 it feels like down over in Worcester right now. Feels like 22 degrees in Plymouth, 23 in Boston, and 24 over in Chatham. It's been a very cold last week, okay? And as we look at this week as well, not only will we be below average again this week, we actually begin to sort of kind of cross over and kind of balance things out between Thursday and Friday. Average daytime high is about 51 degrees. By the end of the week, we're going to be back into the upper 40s for average daytime highs. So this is what we're looking at for the next few days, okay? We'll be in the mid 40s again tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday with more sunshine. As those winds change up and the milder conditions move back in, we'll be talking about milder, at least calmer winds by the end of the week as well. A nice healthy dance between sun and clouds again today. We'll be back mainly clear overnight tonight. Temperatures falling yet again. We'll start out talking about our Tuesday forecast, and as we move towards the end of the week, rain will also be moving back into the weather forecast. So we'll lay it all out coming up in a few minutes, Chris.
Oh boy. All right, Jason, thanks. Well, a Taunton man is dead after a serious crash in West Bridgewater. This happened yesterday morning on Route 24 South. State police say a car rear-ended an Amazon truck. The driver of the car, Carlos Montero, was killed. 2 lanes of Route 24 were shut down for more than 2 hours. Amazon released a statement saying they're saddened by the tragic accident. Well, a New York Jets player is reportedly in critical but stable condition after being shot in Manhattan. Cornerback Chris Boyd was rushed to the hospital with an injury to his abdomen early yesterday morning. Sources tell CBS News the shooting happened after a verbal argument escalated. Investigators are still looking for 2 luxury vehicles that fled the scene. Well, Boston police are warning people about shopping scams this holiday season. They say if you're thinking about getting a pet as a present, beware, because about 80% of sponsored pet ads are fake. Police offered tips on how to weed out fake from real. They say check online, make sure the photos you're seeing aren't being used on other sites, and always make sure to meet the adoptable pet in person before you pay any money. Another common scam involves gift cards. Police say they can be tampered with in the store before you buy them, so thieves can drain the money once they're purchased and activated. Make sure to inspect gift cards before you buy them or get them directly from the cashier at a trusted retailer. Well, Pope Leo welcomed some prominent members of the film industry to the Vatican over the weekend. Kate Blanchett, Viggo Mortensen, Spike Lee, Gus Van Sant. They're all among those in the audience. The Pontiff told them he knows cinemas are struggling to survive. He says more should be done to protect the shared experience of watching movies.
His Holiness's words today were a real charge not to shy away from difficult, painful stories. And he was talking about tears that often people are unable to shed in their everyday life, as well as laughter, you know, that often happens in the cinema. So he really urged us to go back into our day jobs and inspire people and create those spaces.
Yeah, Pope Leo called cinema a vital workshop of hope during a time of global uncertainty. Well, some cyclists rode to the State House over the weekend to call attention to a deadly pattern on the streets. Family members shared memories of loved ones killed while walking or biking. As WBC's Paul Burton shows us, they're pushing for renewed investment in safety and cameras to hold drivers accountable.
Together, we can build a city where no family has to stand where you all stand today.
Pedaling for those who lost their lives, hundreds took to the streets from Cambridge to the State House in Boston for the Ride and Walk for Your Life World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims.
Traffic violence is preventable.
As all part of Mass Bike and Families for Safe Streets, Massachusetts. Claire O'Neill says her younger son, 26-year-old Will, died while riding his bike home from a friend's house last year.
No family should go through what our family has gone through. It has been life-changing, devastating, heartbreaking.
I see a lot of reckless driving in Boston, a lot of people distracted on their phones, a lot of people running red lights, and if we can do anything to reduce that and raise awareness for the amount of violence that occurs from traffic, then I want to help that.
We can't save Sydney, but we can save the next victims.
Mary Beth Ellis and Eric Olson lost their daughter Sydney 2 years ago after she was hit in a crosswalk by a truck on her way to art class. Sydney was only 5 years old.
Seeing this rally of support as a parent, it tells me there's hope, that people recognize this as a problem.
Organizers say as of November 4th, 289 people have lost their lives in traffic crashes here in Massachusetts. 55 have been pedestrians and 10 of them cyclists. Folks here say these deaths are preventable.
This is a public health issue, and there's things that we can do to actually increase safety.
Marjorie Decker is House Chair of the Joint Committee on Public Health. In 2018, she filed legislation that got passed in 2022 that required backup cameras for state trucks. Now she's trying to expand those safety standards to include more trucks and additional safety technology.
We also should be utilizing technologies, including looking at camera technologies, to actually hold people accountable.
In Boston, I'm Paul Burton, WBZ News.
When we come back, bringing one of the oldest sports in the world to Massachusetts. We'll tell you about the game played by Native Americans for centuries that's now gaining popularity at Harvard.
Already gave you the time and the place, so don't be shy. Just come be the man I need. Tell me you got something to give. I want it.
Olivia Dean, catchy song. When the weather is cold and bristly, it is not catchy. No.
Oh no, man! You know what I need? I need a hot cocoa right now. That's
there
what
you
I
go.
need as well. It seems like minute by minute, our sunrise is getting more and more beautiful, Chris. Take a look at this. Out in the harbor as of right now, it's a bit of an elusive start to our morning here. A gorgeous sunrise for the start of our Monday here, friends. We are in mid-November after all, so a lot of the cold air is already in residence here, and below average temperatures are likely going to be on deck again this week. We're at 34 degrees in the city right now, so nothing is necessarily frozen outside here, but it feels like it is, though. Teens and even mid to lower 20s outside for current wind chills. Here's how we're looking, at least over the next 5 days. You can see we'll be in the lower 40s today. We're sort of at the bottom of the trough in terms of daytime high temperatures. We should be averaging around 51 degrees for this time of year. The next chance of being able to make it to around 50 degrees will arrive for us on Friday with a bit of a shower threat as well. Some models are forecasting we'll have about a 30 to 40 plus chance, 40% chance of getting some shower activity on in. As of right now, Jason Michael is not sold on that. Okay, we have a system crawling across the region to the south, one skirting across areas up to the north. We'll not only have some increasing cloud cover between Friday and Saturday, but I think for the most part, a lot of those rain chances will be outside of the region because we'll be right in the middle. That's what it looks like here on our Monday. We'll tell you what it looks like by the time we get to Wednesday and Thursday as well. We're going to be watching it very, very closely. Downstream, still dealing with some chilly and blustery conditions there coming off of the eastern areas of the Great Lakes. We have those average daytime highs should be around 51 degrees as I mentioned earlier. Check out the current wind chills. 23 it feels like in Boston as of right now. Teens over in Worcester, lower 20s area south. Even out towards the islands there, you still have about mid 25 in terms of feels like temperatures there. We have gusty winds around 25 to 30 plus mile per hour for Boston, also along the South Shore there. Lesser amounts of winds as you get up to the north there around the 20 to 25 mile per hour threshold open to the Merrimack Valley. From last Tuesday through last Saturday, not only were we below average, but we're also breezy there as well. We had rain showers that moved through the region on Saturday night through early Sunday. So we were milder yesterday, and we're behind that system now, which is up north over in Nova Scotia. So not only will we be below average, at least for the next 3 to 4 days, in my book there, I think by Friday we'll start to kind of lessen that blow in terms of the daytime high. So this is what it looks like over the next few days here, friends. Back into the mid 40s for tomorrow. A lot of sunshine. Same goes for Wednesday. Just a little bit warmer between Wednesday and Thursday. But what you'll also notice between Wednesday and Thursday will be calmer winds, and we can take that, okay? Here's the hour by hour for the remainder of the day today. We'll have some clouds moving through around midday today, and then they'll be dissipating later on to the afternoon and the evening hours. Still going to be cold again overnight tonight. We'll start out again with some very chilly wind chills. We'll take our temperatures back up into the 40s again tomorrow. Again, expecting a few clouds by Tuesday evening into early Wednesday. And Tuesday and Wednesday are pretty much going to be the same. It's not until we get to Friday and Saturday that things start to look a little bit more unsettled. But again, I'm not sold on the heavy rain chances as of right now. We'll remain in the mid to lower 40s here again today and tomorrow. We'll likely climb a little bit by the end of the week, but at least Saturday and Sunday don't look half bad, Chris.
All right, Jason. Hey, a brand new park is now open to the public in Quincy. The John Quincy Adams Park sits at the corner of Hancock and Chestnut Streets in Quincy Center. Features a statue of the 6th U.S. president and is meant to be a place for visitors to reflect on his leadership and service. Some of Adams' direct descendants were among those who attended the opening ceremony this weekend. Well, tonight, Wayland's school committee will discuss its discrimination response protocol after an alleged incident of racism. Last week, the mother of a Wayland teen called on the district to do more to protect students from messages of hate. She says her 16-year-old son was targeted in high school in a locker room when a "Children at Play" sign was found hanging from the ceiling with a belt around its neck. The incident is under investigation. Time to talk some sports. Fight night in the NHL. Rangers and Red Wings came to blows after the game. This was seconds after the buzzer sounded. Mason Appleton Little empty netter right there. Rangers goalie Jonathan Quick, who had been pulled for an extra skater, he didn't like that. Came off the bench, went after Appleton, and as you can see, both benches cleared. Hey, the Celtics hosted the Clippers at the Garden yesterday. Peyton Pritchard, oh my goodness. 8 3-pointers, finished with 30 points. Celtics led by 3 with just 3 seconds left. James Harden, one last look. Nugget! Celtics hang on to win 121-118, second win in a row. They face the Nets at the Garden tomorrow. Hey, one of the oldest team sports in the world is now at the oldest university in America. Harvard has formed its own stickball team. Levin is back with a closer look. Lev?
Hey, Chris, stickball has been played in Native American tribes for centuries. It was first used as a way to settle disputes so tribes would not go to war. It's an ancestor to lacrosse, and now Harvard has its own team. Now, they take the inspiration from the Cherokee and Choctaw nations. The teams have the usual offensive and defensive sides, but instead of nets, the scoring is done by hitting posts on each ends of the field. Veteran stickballers visited Harvard this week to help grow the game, and they say that players may carry 1 or 2 sticks, depending on the region. The game itself is a huge part of Cherokee and Choctaw identities, and playing it today is a way for everyone to learn more about their cultural heritages.
We've got players here on campus that are students, staff, that all played in the World Series, and so this is a way for us to come together. We were all brought here for a reason, and now we got people from tribes who never played it, learning a tradition and appreciating tradition through it. It's beautiful to see it.
There's nothing I love more than when you get a chance to learn somebody else's culture through food, through games, through, just through travel. And that's something here. That's something that this is all about.
Yeah, these are great entry points. Yeah. It's very cool they're doing that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And it was great to see that everybody was out there on the quad, just kind of learning the game, playing the game, taking the bruises that you're going to get. So it was good.
Some bruised shins.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Lev, thanks. Hey, the third installment of Now You See Me won this weekend's box office. Now You See Me, Now You Don't debuted with $21.3 million. Beat out the remake of The Running Man. That opened in second with $17 million. Rounding off the top 5, Predator Badlands, Colleen Hoover's Regretting You, and Black Phone 2. Well, the holiday shopping season is now upon us, and experts say now is the time for toy buying. Bradley Blackburn has a look at what's new, what's affordable, and best of all, what's fun.
You ready to race?
I'm ready.
Amazing.
In this year's race for top toys, Marissa Silva is just the person to give you a head start.
Pull the trigger on the back. Oh, wow.
The Toy Insider's editor-in-chief shared some favorites, like this $30 Hyperburst set. Kids build the track and battle on it, knocking mini cars off.
I love that 2 kids can play at the same time, too, like right out of the box, which is awesome.
This season, with Wicked for Good popping into theaters, expect tie-ins, including this Glinda vanity kit, to cast a spell for many kids. Say the magic words.
You've been Glindified.
And it transforms.
This whole thing pops up, and kids can put in all their little accessories.
Oh my gosh, my
and do their
daughters will
makeup.
love this.
It's really cute, really interactive and engaging.
Another highlight.
Pick a color for me.
This Crayola tool that turns almost any marker into an airbrush.
Washable, wireless, nice and easy, and $19.99.
Many shoppers are hunting for deals, but Silva says if you need something specific, waiting for sales means taking a risk.
When it comes to sales, we're always looking right around Black Friday, but just keep in mind that the stock will already start to wane around that time. So it's game time right now.
While big ticket items like the Nintendo Switch 2 cost hundreds of dollars, you don't have to sacrifice fun if you're on a budget.
It's always about choosing options that are within your budget that offer really big play value.
Take this simple $20 game, Marshmallow Madness, that makes anyone who plays look ridiculous.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
One sweet idea to help your family laugh all season long. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Coming up after the break, hip-hop star Gunna kicking off his world tour today right here in Boston. We got details on where you can see him perform live next.
You're watching WBZ News.
Scoop me duck, got one of my rooms all flooded with gold. I done bought 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 carat in stones. Cash on the California cash, can't wait to go dress my home.
Yeah, that's him all along by Gunna, also known as Wunna. The Atlanta-based hip-hop star is kicking off his One World Tour right here in Boston tonight. He'll be at MGM Music Hall at Fenway. Show starts at 8 o'clock. There are tickets available if you want to go. I'm Chris Tanaka. You're watching CBS News Boston. We'll be back after the break, but first, a look ahead to 8 o'clock. Students take a stand after nearly 24 educators were laid off. The walkout they're planning as their district deals with a massive budget gap. Jury selection in the Brian Walshe murder trial set to get underway this week. We'll tell you what's on tap today and what you need to know about in the case. That's all coming up at 8 o'clock. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more headlines and your next weather forecast.
To 8, colder than average temperatures dominating the 7-day forecast, at least for the start of it over the next 4 days. Not only will we be below average in daytime highs, but certainly overnight lows. Feels like temperatures, at least for this morning, everybody, are still in the lower 20s and upper teens, especially for Worcester County. We'll have a string of 40s through the end of the week. Milder conditions on tap for us on Friday and Saturday, around 50 degrees for a daytime high, and a chance of getting some spot showers for us on Friday into early Saturday, Chris.
All right, Jason, our top story. Firefighters battled flames and windy weather yesterday to keep a fire from spreading to the Avalon Apartments in Northborough. Officials think it started in a garage for maintenance equipment and building materials, spread to a second garage, but didn't hurt anyone. If you're watching on CBS News Boston, we'll be back after a quick break. CBS Mornings continues on WBZ.
The Whitman-Hanson School District losing nearly 24 educators today to make up for a massive budget deficit. The move by some students to protest the layoffs this morning. And relief at airports across the country. The FAA lifts flight restrictions implemented during the shutdown. And jury selection in the murder trial of Brian Walshe set to get underway this week. The final pretrial hearing scheduled for today.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News Mornings.
Well, good morning and thanks for joining us. It is Monday, November 17th. I'm Brianna Pitts. Nearly 24 educators won't be showing up for work in one school district this morning. They were let go because of a massive budget deficit. This morning, some students plan to walk out of class to protest the cuts. WBZ Samantha Cheney is in Hanson with the growing outrage in the district.
Well, this outrage, it has been brewing for quite some time, but things today are finally reaching a boiling point as students here at the Whitman-Hanson Regional High School are expected to walk out of class in support of those teachers who were let go over the weekend. The changes were initially announced to parents and members of this community last month at a school committee meeting. But on Friday, Hanson superintendent tells us 5 teachers, 2 long-term substitutes, 11 paraprofessionals, and 5 non-union staff members were notified of the reduction in force. It's a move that the superintendent says was made in order for the district to directly address a budget deficit of nearly $1.4 million. The school district says principals are working to make sure that class can continue without disruption. But that promise, it hasn't stopped parents from sharing their frustration with the situation.
What is happening to this school district is a shame. It's an absolute shame. And I will, along with all of my friends, the school staff, the support staff, teachers, whomever, we will fight to make sure that our kids get the best education possible. In no way should any staff that works directly with children be reduced in force.
Now, according to an Instagram post, this walkout is supposed to happen around 9:13 this morning. We're told the students will be meeting to protest on the football field. Here in Hanson, I'm Samantha Cheney, WBZ News.
All right, let's take a look outside over this city, the Boston Common there. And Jason Michael is here with a look at our next weather forecast. It certainly feels like it's a December morning, Jason. It's chilly out there.
Oh, yeah. Even though we're in the fall season here now in mid-November, it feels like we're in mid-December outside as of right now. Current feels like temperatures, friends, in the upper teens and even lower 20s. But it's a gorgeous start to the morning. Look at that. A gorgeous sunrise out in the harbor again this morning. And this is the best view in the house as we see it right now. 35 degrees in the city of Boston right now. Dew point temperatures are dry. We are also breezy as well. West winds kind of cruising into the region. For our friends over in Wellesley again this morning, they're in the lower 30s. They're going to be heading off to school. They're the little ones I'm speaking about. And around 40 degrees arriving for us later on today. So we're only topping out in around the lower 40s here, 41 to 42 degrees in and around the Boston area again today. We'll be steadily climbing up in terms of temperatures between Tuesday and Wednesday. Hefty amount of sunshine over the next couple days. Just a little bit warmer possibly for us on Thursday with more clouds dominating here. But the key difference between midweek and also later in the week, calmer winds, but also warmer temperatures coming in from the south, elevating us around the 50-degree mark by Friday. Friday into Saturday, we're also going to be talking about wet weather moving back in here. As of right now, I'm really not sort of hitching my wagon to this going to be a rainy sort of into the week here. We're just going to be dealing with a spot shower chance with one system up to the north and one system down to the south. As of right now, models are really not in agreement on just how much rain we're going to receive and if we're going to receive any rain, but we'll likely take what we can get here. Still dealing with those chilly and also blustery conditions. Lake effect machine still going off with some snow showers over towards upstate New York. We'll talk about the rest of our Monday and also talk about the rest of the week as well coming up in the full weather forecast, Bree.
All right, Jason, thank you. Well, this morning, the FAA has lifted the unprecedented flight restrictions imposed during the government shutdown. The FAA rescinded its order to limit the amount of flights at 40 major U.S. airports, including Logan. The cuts were put into place due to a shortage of air traffic controllers during the shutdown. They started on November 7th and impacted thousands of flights. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was at Logan Airport over the weekend to reward the TSA officers there who had perfect attendance throughout the shutdown. Each of them got a $10,000 bonus. The federal government says more than 270 TSA workers at Logan qualified. The White House says several thousand workers qualify for the bonus. Well, President Trump is reversing his stance on the Epstein files. Last night, he said Republicans should vote to release them. That vote could happen as soon as tomorrow. Bradley Blackburn is in New York with more on that, as well as growing U.S.-Venezuela tensions.
President Trump is now urging House Republicans to vote to release the Jeffrey Epstein files, writing, quote, "We have nothing to hide."
They're using Jeffrey Epstein as a deflection.
A House vote is expected tomorrow.
There are a lot of other people who are involved who have to be held accountable.
President Trump has directed a Justice Department probe into Epstein's ties to top Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton and major banks, after a House panel released more than 20,000 documents from the estate of the deceased sex offender, whom the president previously said he cut ties with years ago. Both Trump and Clinton have denied knowing of Epstein's crimes.
This might be a big smokescreen, these investigations.
The president had a public falling out with House GOP ally Marjorie Taylor Greene over her push for the release, calling her a traitor.
Those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me.
Meanwhile, the USS Gerald Ford now sits in striking distance of Venezuela as the president weighs possible military operations.
It's all about drugs.
The president said Sunday that he may hold talks with Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Today, prosecutors and Brian Walshe's attorneys are set to meet in a Dedham courtroom. This will be the final hearing before his murder trial begins after a series of delays. WBZ's Aaron Parsegian tells us what to expect.
After 40 days at Bridgewater State Hospital, Brian Walshe entered Norfolk County Superior Court in cuffs Friday.
The defendant is competent and ready to stand trial.
Walsh's trial back on track following a mental competency evaluation and after he was stabbed in jail back in September. Judge Diane Frenier also denying his attorney's request to change the location.
Accordingly, the defendant's motion for a change of venue or alternate relief is denied without prejudice.
The Cohasset man is accused of killing and dismembering his wife Anna on New Year's Day in 2023. Though her body was never found.
There's a lot of evidence that we see that points to Brian Walshe, but without the body, it's harder for the prosecution to close that loop.
WBZ legal analyst Jennifer Roman says prosecutors will have to methodically lay out other evidence to make their case. Things like internet searches investigators say Walshe made on his son's iPad around the time of Anna's disappearance, including 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. Surveillance video of Walshe at a Rockland Home Depot buying large amounts of cleaning supplies, tarps, and drop cloths. And the bloody damaged knife detectives say they found in the basement of the Walshe home.
I think the defense is going to chip away at motive, and then they're going to keep saying, well, where's the body?
On top of that, disgraced former state trooper Michael Proctor, the lead investigator in the Karen Reed case, was also involved in this investigation, something Roman says Walsh's attorneys will key in on.
They're going to try to shift the attention away from Brian Walshe and focus it on every other possibility. Then they're going to be like, did the police really do their job?
Right now, opening statements are slated to begin on December 1st, but that's all determined on when they can get a jury selected. The trial itself is expected to last several weeks. In Dedham, Aaron Parsegian, WBZ News.
Stay with WBZ for complete coverage of the Walshe trial. We'll be carrying today's pretrial hearing starting around 9 a.m. Our Penny Commit will be in court covering the case. You can look for her live reports daily on WBZ and CBS News Boston. Well, a shoplifter targeting another upscale store on Newbury Street. Boston police responded to the Ralph Lauren store yesterday afternoon. They say a suspect got away with about $8,000 worth of merchandise. The thief has not been caught. And this follows a number of shoplifting incidents at local Lululemon stores. The location on Newbury Street was targeted 3 times on September 28th, October 13th, and again on November 2nd. The thief also took items from the Lululemon in Chestnut Hill last week. Well, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, the Pats preparing for their matchup with Cincinnati this weekend. The injury that could keep one player off the field for several weeks.
Let's settle the score, everybody. Let's start out talking about the chilly weather that we have outside here. It was a gorgeous weekend, albeit with some rain showers on Saturday night through early Sunday. We topped out at 56 degrees yesterday. We sort of overappreciated in surface temperatures on our Sunday. We had a mix of sun and clouds again yesterday. That system is long gone, and so we're now dealing with colder conditions behind that system that moved through that kind of sprayed the region with some of those overnight rain showers. With the bottom of the rung in terms of daytime high temperatures today, lower 40s on deck there, mid 40s over the next couple days, at least through Thursday, before milder conditions move back in by Friday. This is what we're looking at here. We're going to have a mainly dry week for the most part, sun and also a lot of clouds there as well for the start of the work week. More sunshine again tomorrow, Wednesday, more clouds on Thursday, calmer winds. By Friday and the Saturday, let's talk about the system moving in. Focus on not only the Boston area, but a system up to the north. It's likely going to spray some of the Merrimack Valley and maybe getting into southern New Hampshire, but definitely Maine is going to be dealing with not only snow, but also wintry mix and some scattered snow showers. Meanwhile, we're going to be too warm for any snow in areas south there. A couple spot showers going to be possible for us. Look at the clock there by Friday evening hours there. Not only will we have a couple spot showers, but another system could actually spray the south coast as well as the islands. If both of these systems move one a little bit farther to the north, another one a little bit farther to the south, we're going to have a mainly dry Friday and not only a Saturday as well. So we're going to fine tune that forecast for you. But what we're dealing with here again right now is going to be a mix of sun and also clouds again for today, but blustery conditions coming down from the north. That system that brought a lot of the rain showers to the region now just causing some snow showers up towards Nova Scotia. So we're on the backside of that there, which is why temperatures are going to be below normal again today. 51 is the daytime high. Wind chills outside right now are nowhere near the 50-degree mark. We are still dealing with upper teens for Worcester, lower 20s in and around the Boston area, certainly by Metro West. Once you start to go westbound on the Mass Pike, it really starts to fall off there, nearing a 30-mile-per-hour gust over in Worcester. 37-mile-per-hour gusts in the city of Boston right now, 30-mile-per-hour gusts over in P-Town, and over 40 down in Nantucket. So we got a pretty chilly start to the work week. Tuesday through Saturday last week, not only were we below average, but we also had a lot of clouds kind of deal with last week. We're going to be below average again this week, but we're also going to have more sunshine moving back in as well. So similar feels, but also different sky conditions. Over the next few days, again, mid-40s today as well as tomorrow. Lighter winds on deck for us on Thursday, even though we're going to be in the mid-40s as well. We'll likely allow for a few clouds to kind of roll out once we get into the afternoon. Still dealing with the west-northwest winds, still going to be gusting around 20 to 30 miles per hour. Mainly clear overnight tonight, getting cold again tonight. Waking up tomorrow morning, we could actually have more of the 20s for air temperatures and feels like temperatures in the teens. So again, another day of bundling up across the region. Here's the next 7. Not that bad for mid-November, right? By the end of the week, we're moving towards late November. We'll be around 50 degrees for us on Friday and well as on Saturday, and back into the mid-40s next Sunday, Brianna.
All right, Jason, thank you. Well, Sunday Night Football, the Lions taking on the Eagles in Philly, and Jalen Hurts scored the only touchdown to lead the Eagles to a 16-9 win. The Lions failed to convert on 5 fourth-down attempts and were 3 of 13 on third down. The defending Super Bowl champion Eagles are now 8-2 on the season. The Patriots get back to work today after a long weekend following 2 games in 5 days last week. They'll hit the road this weekend to face the Bengals in Cincinnati. Levin is live here in studio with us with a little preview. Hey, Lev.
Hey, Brianna. You know, a well-deserved weekend off for the Patriots. The team will return to the facility today, and then it's back to the grind, and we are on to Cincinnati. Some shuffling, though, will have to be done in New England's defensive line because the team had to place one of their best players on IR. Defensive tackle Milton Williams suffered a high ankle sprain in the Jets game on Thursday night. It happened on the first drive of the contest. Williams left the game to get checked out, returned to play, but was held out in the second half. The Patriots placed him on injured reserve on Saturday, so that means he'll miss at least the next 4 games, which are at Cincinnati. Then a Monday night matchup with the Giants here at Foxborough. Then after the bye week, he'll miss the game against the Buffalo Bills when they come to Gillette. That 4th game would be the Baltimore game at Baltimore on December 21st. Okay, here's your up to the minute AFC standings. The Broncos control the top seed because they have a better conference record. The Colts had a bye this weekend, so they stay at 8-2. Everybody's eyes are focused on Kansas City. Look at the Chiefs right there at the bottom there. 5-5, 2-4 in the conference. They have a lot of work to do to grab a playoff spot. And this is fresh off the presses. Sports Illustrated came out with their power rankings last night. The Pats are third behind the Rams and the Eagles. They are 1 spot ahead of the Colts and 2 spots ahead of the Buffalo Bills, and then 3 spots ahead of the Denver Broncos. Figure out the spots. I was actually it was 4, 5, and 6. Just so you know. Yana?
I'm going to need another recap of the spots, but they are number 1 in our hearts.
Absolutely.
So number 1 spot. And how are we feeling about the Bengals, Lev, really quick?
I figure the Pats can score about 35 on the Bengals.
Okay.
Because the Bengals defense is like me running out there right now in my, at my 55-year-old body trying to stop anyone who's like 22. So yes,
okay.
no.
Perfect. Well, you were really close on the score last time, so I always like to ask you.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Lev. Hey, and WBZ is your place to catch all of the action for Patriots game day here, starting off at 11:30. Kickoff is at 1, and then right after the game, you can join us for the Patriots 5th quarter. It is all on WBZ. Well, Massport toasting another strong cruise season in Boston. It says 22 cruise lines and more than 450,000 passengers came and went from Boston's Flynn Cruise Port in the 2025 season. This morning, it'll celebrate the successful season and launch the next phase of cruise port renovations. And the JFK Presidential Library is offering free admission through the end of the month. The library reopened to the public on Saturday after being closed during the government shutdown. The cafe is back open today, and the research room will open tomorrow by appointment only. Advance tickets are not required to take advantage of the free admission. And AAA is predicting record travel this Thanksgiving holiday, and Ford is relocating after 7 decades in its current headquarters building. CBS News' Jesse Mitchell has your latest business headlines.
AAA predicts nearly 82 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home this Thanksgiving. More than 73 million travelers are expected to hit the road, though AAA says that number could change with the FAA announcing an end to its shutdown-related order to reduce flights. As of right now, more than 6 million Americans are expected to fly this Thanksgiving. The Ford Motor Company has unveiled its new high-tech world headquarters building in Dearborn, Michigan. The roughly 2 million square foot structure has offices, design studios, and a food hall with 7 restaurants. It sits just 3 miles away from the company's old headquarters, which is set to eventually be demolished. Ford has not disclosed the cost of the new building, though the car maker is expected to finish its move there in 2027. And Now You See Me 3 levitated to the top of the domestic weekend box office, conjuring up more than $21 million in ticket sales. Fellow newcomer The Running Man sprinted to second with $17 million. Predator Badlands fell to the 3rd spot with $13 million. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Well, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, President Trump's immigration crackdown may be taking a toll on Massachusetts schools. We'll tell you why next.
You're watching WBZ News.
Immigration crackdowns could be impacting school enrollment, and that may cost districts large amounts of funding. The Globe looked at enrollment data from some of the state's largest districts, and they found sharp drops in places like Boston, Framingham, and Everett. School officials tell the paper they are seeing fewer international students enrolling, and this could also impact funding for next year. The amount of money schools receive from the state is tied to how many students they have and whether those students have additional needs, like being an English language learner. Well, today, the governor's anti-hunger task force will hold its first listening session in Dighton. The goal is to determine long-term solutions to hunger in Massachusetts. It follows delayed SNAP benefit payouts during the government shutdown. Tonight's session is at the Bristol County Agricultural High School at 5:30. Additional sessions are scheduled in other communities in the coming weeks. Well, WBZ is partnering with Wegmans this holiday season to support food pantries across the state. Together, we are helping Massachusetts families facing hunger. You can find more information on how to help on our website, WBZ.com. Well, coming up next, Pope Leo rubbing elbows with some movie stars, why the actors made a trip to the Vatican.
You're watching WBZ News.
Pope Leo welcomed some prominent members of the film industry to the Vatican this weekend. Cate Blanchett, Viggo Mortensen, Spike Lee, and Gus Van Sant were among those in the audience. The pontiff told them he knows cinemas are struggling to survive, and he says more should be done to protect the shared experience of watching movies.
His Holiness's words today were a real charge not to shy away from difficult, painful stories. And he was talking about tears that often people are unable to shed in their everyday life, as well as laughter, you know, that often happens in the cinema. So he really urged us to go back into our day jobs and inspire people and create those spaces.
Pope Leo called cinema a vital workshop of hope during a time of global uncertainty. Well, still to come in our next half hour, a warning about common holiday scams, what to know to spend smart while shopping for gifts.
CBS News Boston is now streaming live on our YouTube channel every morning from 7 to 10 a.m. So if you're watching us streaming on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channel, CBS News Boston. Now, streaming on CBS News Boston, WBZ News Mornings continues with your top stories.
Right now on CBS News Boston, ICE agents are on the ground in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the Trump administration's latest crackdown on illegal immigration. Also a warning from Boston police as we enter the holidays, tips for avoiding some common holiday shopping scams. And remembering road traffic victims, the renewed push to protect pedestrians and cyclists. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brianna Pitts. Charlotte, North Carolina is the latest city to be targeted for immigration enforcement by the Trump administration. An operation called Charlotte's Web launched over the weekend. Agents arrested nearly 100 people Saturday. Bradley Blackburn is tracking the latest.
Cell phone videos captured arrests across Charlotte over the weekend, with agents pulling people from shopping centers and parking lots. Customs and Border Protection smashed the truck window of a man named Willie Aceituno, who was detained and released after he showed he is an American citizen.
Soy ciudadano americano.
I told them I'm an American citizen. I'm an American citizen, he said.
They're in our yard.
Nearby, a resident shot video of agents moving in on a landscaping crew as they were putting up Christmas lights, but no arrests were made. The ICE surge in Charlotte is being led by Commander Gregory Bovino, who was also behind efforts in LA and Chicago. Bovino claimed in social media posts many of those arrested had criminal histories. The Department of Homeland Security says more than 500,000 people have been arrested and deported during enforcement operations this year. On Sunday, protesters filled the streets of uptown Charlotte to push back on the tough tactics.
It's terrifying to pretty much know that at any moment a federal agent can just come out and abuse you just because of the way you look.
I seriously believe that immigration is a civil issue. It's not criminal. So this doesn't make any sense to me.
DHS says it focused on North Carolina because of sanctuary policies that restrict cooperation between local law enforcement and federal immigration agents. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
All right, let's take a look outside over the city, the Boston Common. You can see the State House there. We have your next weather forecast with Jason Michael. And Jason, the good news is, yes, it's chilly, but we have the sun shining. That always helps us feel better.
Oh, beautiful colors outside on this Monday here. I absolutely agree with you, Brianna. The sunshine will help to kind of offset a lot of the cold conditions that we have outside here. It is a cold start to the morning, so welcome to it here. We're talking about blustery conditions continuing yet again. And now that we're tiptoeing into late November, oh my God. Gosh, we got 30s in and around the city as of right now. That cold pocket of air slipping all the way down into the Tennessee River Valley region there. 30s and even 20s outside as of right now, and teens in terms of wind chills also waking us up here in the Worcester County region. Yesterday's daytime high temperatures after the overnight rain on Saturday night through early Sunday morning into the mid-50s yesterday. 56 topping out yesterday at Logan Airport in the city of Boston. As we start to look at our average daytime highs being around 51 degrees here, not only are we beginning the work week today in the lower 40s there, we're going to be below average today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and likely on Thursday as well. This is a look at some of my forecast highs across the region again today. Lower 40s are going to be on deck here. Sunset time, 4:20, okay, 4:20 later on this evening here. This is what we're dealing with there outside as of right now. That system that brought a lot of the rain, at least some steady rain into the region Saturday night, is well off to the north and east of us as of right now. Behind the system, we are continuing another morning of the snow machine on areas east of the Great Lakes. So we're talking about chilly and blustery conditions on deck for us today over the next 12 hours. Not only will we get a little bit more sunshine moving in, but it's still likely to be cold again, more of the 20s. Arriving overnight tonight. We'll talk about wet weather arriving for us in the 7-day forecast, Brianna, just minutes away.
All right, Jason, thank you. Well, some cyclists rode to the State House in Boston yesterday to call attention to a deadly pattern on city streets. Family members shared memories of loved ones who were killed while walking or biking. And as WBZ's Paul Burton shows us, they are pushing for renewed investment in safety and cameras to hold drivers accountable.
Together, we can build a city where no family has to stand where you all stand today.
Pedaling for those who lost their lives, hundreds took to the streets from Cambridge to the State House in Boston for the Ride and Walk for Your Life World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims.
Traffic violence is preventable.
As all part of Mass Bike and Families for Safe Streets, Massachusetts. Claire O'Neill says her younger son, 26-year-old Will, died while riding his bike home from a friend's house last year.
No family should go through what our family has gone through. It has been life-changing, devastating, heartbreaking.
I see a lot of reckless driving in Boston, a lot of people distracted on their phones, a lot of people running red lights, and if we can do anything to reduce that and raise awareness for the amount of violence that occurs from traffic, then I want to help that.
We can't save Sydney, but we can save the next victims.
Mary Beth Ellis and Eric Olson lost their daughter Sydney 2 years ago after she was hit in a crosswalk by a truck on her way to art class. Sydney was only 5 years old.
Seeing this rally of support as a parent, it tells me there's hope, that people recognize this as a problem.
Organizers say as of November 4th, 289 people have lost their lives in traffic crashes here in Massachusetts. 55 have been pedestrians and 10 of them cyclists. Folks here say these deaths are preventable.
This is a public health issue, and there's things that we can do to actually increase safety.
Marjorie Decker is House Chair of the Joint Committee on Public Health. In 2018, she filed legislation that got passed in 2022 that required backup cameras for state trucks. Now she's trying to expand those safety standards to include more trucks and additional safety technology.
We also should be utilizing technologies, including looking at camera technologies, to actually hold people accountable.
In Boston, I'm Paul Burton, WBZ News.
Well, Boston police are warning people about shopping scams this holiday season. They say if you're thinking about getting a pet as a present, beware, because about 80% of sponsored pet advertisements are fake. Police offered some tips on weeding out the real ads. They say to check online that the pictures you're seeing aren't being used on other sites, and always make sure to meet the adoptable pet in person before paying any money. Another common scam, gift cards. Police say they can be tampered with in the store before you even buy them, so that thieves can drain the money from them once they've been purchased and activated. Make sure to inspect gift cards before buying them or get them directly from the cashier at a trusted retailer. Well, tonight, Wayland's school committee will discuss its discrimination response protocol after an alleged incident of racism. Last week, the mother of a Wayland teen called on the district to do more to protect students from messages of hate. She says her 16-year-old son was targeted in a high school locker room when a Children at Play sign was found hanging from the ceiling with a belt around its neck. The incident is under investigation. Well, the everyday foods linked to colon cancer and a measles outbreak has more parents getting their kids vaccinated. Michael George has the day's top health stories.
More parents in Texas are getting their kids vaccinated against the measles in the wake of a serious outbreak. A study published in JAMA found a sharp increase this year in MMR vaccination rates among children under the age of 2. The U.S. recently experienced its worst measles outbreak in decades, with more than 1,000 cases, primarily among the unvaccinated. A quarter of veterans and military members who start therapy for post-traumatic stress disorder quit before they finish treatment. Researchers from Idaho State University found cognitive processing therapy and prolonged exposure therapy had the highest dropout rates, and group-based exposure therapy had a lower dropout rate. PTSD affects about 7% of veterans and can raise the risk of heart disease and stroke. Eating ultra-processed food is linked to early-onset colorectal cancer in women. A study published in JAMA showed in women under the age of 50, those who got more than a third of their daily calories from ultra-processed foods had a 45% higher risk of developing the precursors of colorectal cancer. Ultra-processed foods include things like breakfast cereals, chips, white bread, soda, and candy bars. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News.
Well, a brand new park is now open to the public in Quincy. The John Quincy Adams Park sits at the corner of Hancock and Chestnut Streets in Quincy Center. It features a statue of the 6th U.S. president and is meant to be a place for visitors to reflect on his leadership and service. Some of Adams' direct descendants were among those who attended the opening ceremony this weekend. Well, still to come on CBS News Boston, David Ortiz discusses the Red Sox offseason and his admiration for Roman Anthony with our Dan Roach. You won't want to miss it. That's next.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, yeah, I love to start our weather forecast talking about some beautiful blue skies and also a lot of sunshine. That's exactly what we have outside as of right now to kickstart your work week here. But it is cold, C-O-L-D, cold, underline it, bold, and also italicized here. We got a lot of blustery conditions coming down off of the Great Lakes as of right now. We're still powering on the snow machine, unfortunately. We've sort of been dealing with these northwesterly winds for the past several days or so, and a lot of areas across eastern and at least also western New York, as well as the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, have been dealing with some of these scattered snow showers for quite some time here. Even northeast Ohio into Erie, Pennsylvania, Rochester, New York, Buffalo have been dealing with some of these steady lake effect snow showers. We still have some lakes that are actually warmer than the average, and you got this cold Arctic air riding overhead, so it's helping to elicit a lot of these scattered snow showers. Some areas got well over a foot on the ground already. Meanwhile, downstream though, we're just dealing with a lot of cold conditions. The cold air is moving on in, even though the snow is not moving into the Commonwealth as well. We had some flakes over towards the Berkshires over this past couple weekend. Meanwhile, we're dealing with some Saturday night through early Sunday rain over the next couple days. Not only will we be dry, but we're still going to be breezy as well. More of the 20s arriving for us overnight tonight, spilling over into the sunrise hours for us tomorrow. We'll have a string of 30s right along the Atlantic coast, even some 40s in areas south there down towards D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, also in the lower 40s as well. 20s and 30s, as you can see, across the Midwest as of right now. Meanwhile, 35 degrees in the city of Boston. Yesterday's highs wasn't that bad, actually. We're in the mid-50s yesterday, 56 to be exact at Logan Airport. We should be around 51 degrees for this time of year, so we overappreciated yesterday and surface temperatures. But today, though, we're going to be really, really cold. We still have lake effect snow showers there moving into areas of upstate New York. Some of those actually going to go downstream into the Berkshires overnight tonight and likely stay on the surface because we're likely going to be in the 20s and lower 30s overnight tonight. So there's a chance for some ice across the Berkshires, but not in central Mass. We're still going to be dry there. 4:20 is going to be the sunset time later on today. December 8th will be at a 4:11 sunset there, and then we'll start to kind of turn things back around and day by day start to get just a little bit more sunshine there. Next rain chances actually hold off until the end of the week. Let's talk about that, okay? As we start to see Thursday and Friday roar back in here, we'll have overcast skies, also calmer winds for us on Thursday. By Friday morning, at least by midday, we start to see a couple spot showers right through the region. We got a system up to the north. We got a system crawling out of the Appalachia region down to the south, and both of them could likely stay outside of the region. If that still happens, though, that means we're going to have a mainly dry Friday and a mainly dry Saturday as well. But look at the current wind chills. Lower 20s outside for the city of Boston. An extra layer and also a sturdy layer is definitely going to be my best recommendation. Meanwhile, windy conditions will likely continue yet again. We're still standing at about a 37-mile-per-hour gust in the city as of right now. So hang on, everybody, until those calmer winds move back in. Mid-40s on deck for tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, around 50 degrees on Friday. Again, watching those chance rain showers there, Brianna.
All right, Jason, thanks. The 17th annual weekend with Big Papi took place this weekend in West Palm Beach, Florida. David Ortiz hosted the golf and dining event to raise money for low-income children in the New England area and the Dominican Republic who cannot afford cardiac services that they need. Our Dan Roach caught up with Big Papi to talk about the event and, of course, the Red Sox offseason.
David, let's just begin with your weekend with Papi. I think this is, what, the 17th annual event. You got a lot of celebrities there. Tell us all about it. What's the excitement for? And again, the bottom line, raising money for children in the Dominican and in Massachusetts.
Man, we have, first of all, thank you for having me in here. This event, this is our biggest event during the year where we continue raising money to save life, operating on kids and giving them the opportunity to live, to have a normal life. It's something that to me is very special. That's why I always go to my boys, for support and to show up, because this is something that once you are part of it, just like you don't get tired of, you know what I'm saying? So my man Jim Rikes, big cats it's in the building too, El Duque, Podge, Roman Anthony, man, what a kid. I spent most of the night last night, him and D'Angelo's our buddies. And man, I spent some time talking to him last night. Tell you what, man, we are in some good hands. He's a great kid, very respectful, He's gonna very well represent our organization, and very happy from what I saw. Last night was like the very first time that you get to spend time with him, besides being a Fenway, and you can pick and choose, and you can see his mentality. And I'm glad he's back on being okay. And I told him, hey man, I'm counting on you.
What's his baseball mind like, David?
Oh man, I'm telling you, he's too mature for his age. It's way too mature for his age. His body language, the way he exposed himself, is very well.
That's awesome. What did you like about this Red Sox team this year? They made the playoffs, which was good. They've got some work to do. You'd like to see Bregman back, maybe Alonso, and sign him, and maybe a number 2 starter. But what do you think about this Red Sox team with that foundation of youth kind of set in stone, and Crochet in the front of the rotation?
Tell you what, the way baseball is right now, to pound guy like Bregman, at any location is hard to do, to get that full package. Bregman, I used to love him when he was with Houston, because of everything that he shows that he's capable of. But playing for us this one season, he became to be like a centerpiece, in our organization. And I love those type of players because they reunite people. They bring people together. That's how you win. If you don't have that type of chemistry, doesn't matter what type of talent you have. That's how it's gonna go down. Watching the playoff and being around the playoff, this World Series, you will say that the Dodgers are just talent. No. The Dodgers are not just talent. They got good chemistry. They have a great balance. They have a great manager, a great front office. They have a lot of things going on that help them to win championship. It's not just talent. You know what I'm saying? And in our days when we were winning, that was exactly the same thing.
And you got to go and spend a little bit too, right?
Yeah. Everybody's spending money nowadays, which is fine. That's part of the game. But you need to know where you're going to spend it. Like signing a guy like Bregman is a good way to spend money, because you know what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? And the team that we had this year is not too far away from winning a championship. You know what I'm saying? We are very close. Very, very close. I can tell you that we got the talent, we got the manager, we got the front office. We add a couple of more pieces, and I think we will be good to go. And we are healthy, Herman Anthony.
Hold on, I got to say one thing to you finally, David.
What's
I
that?
know it's right around the corner, so coming up on Monday, congratulations. Happy 60th birthday. I think everybody's really happy for you. How's it feel to be 60 years old? I can't believe you're 50, though. Man.
I know, man. This time is flying, man. But as you know, black don't crack. I look better than you.
Coming up at 9 a.m., we'll be carrying the final pretrial hearing before Brian Walsh's trial is scheduled to begin, as the Cohasset man is set to stand trial after being accused of killing his wife, Anna. That and your top stories are heading your way in the next hour.